Hi everyone, I'm Marilyn, National Educator for Elgon, and today I'll be showing you how I use Super 9 bleach to take this brunette to a beautiful beachy balayage. This is the second blonding session. My mannequin started out with a level 1 box dye, which I lightened to a tortoiseshell balayage that you can see now. I start off by parting the hair into 3 sections. First, center part, then ear to ear, just behind the ridge. As a shortcut, I like to leave out my first subsections. I also find it helps me to determine how light I want to go underneath. Right now, I'm spraying the hair with phytoelisure as an added protection. So today's formula is Super 9 bleach with 20 volume oxy cream and LinkD. I also have a second formula using 30 volume that I use later in the application so that I get a nice even lift. Make sure when mixing bleach, you do it slowly so that it doesn't expand on you later. Now, working in triangles, I use a combination of techniques. Here, in my first section, I'm just doing my straight out balayage and getting very heavy at the end. My next triangle is another balayage. Here I'm holding it nice and taut. Going in. I also have a dry brush next to me to correct any unwanted areas. Now this next section, I do a teasylight or an ombre. And you can see how heavy I go on the end. I have little random balayage pieces. This is where you get creative and you customize to your client. Here you can get a better angle, better look at the ombre. I like to do a lot of little random balayage, especially around the face. Here I'm showing how I take my triangle pieces. Now this piece I am weaving. I leave the woven pieces out. I even clip it for security here. I do my teasy light and see how heavy I go always on the ends. Now this is just the balayage piece. I do a lot more balayage or heavier lightening right around the face. So you get sort of like that money piece feel. But the idea is to use a combination of techniques. As I go higher, obviously, my triangles are a little longer. The woven piece, you get a better view of it. I clip it out, tease. You see, I stay enough away from that root area to make sure that I have enough of the dark for there to be a contrast for my balayage pieces on top. Definitely have those darker bits underneath, otherwise you just tend to look too blended, too light. I'm showing the triangles again. I like to see how I like to drop out a lot of those face framing pieces so that I can go heavier on them. And as you can see, I'm definitely going over previously lightened bits, so it's so important that you use LinkD and the right amount of it. And as you can see, I like to work side to side so that I don't get all one side lightening before the other. It's just the way I've always worked, and I also start at the front most of the time, not always, so that I do get most of the lighter bits in the front. When I reach the top, I check both sides to make sure that I'm balanced. I don't want a mirror image, but I want to make sure that I don't get too light on one side. And like I said, we're blasting her, so I'm trying to get as light as possible in this one session. If you're not completely happy with the piece, like I said, you can always go back with your dry brush. I use my fingers a lot. The front pieces on textured or layered hair can be a bit challenging. You can just drop the strands and pick them up individually, and it gives you opportunity to detail it even more. You see I'm in the back already. I do go very heavy usually on the bottom pieces. That way you get the benefit of the lightening without the high maintenance. Okay, in the back it's pretty straightforward. I do my triangles on the sides, and then one going across in the middle, and then triangles again. And again, I just alternate my techniques. I'll drop random pieces. Here I'm weaving. And I happen to have done the balayage before, and you'll see that I go in later and I tease the bottom piece. But yeah, because I want to make sure that I do get all the ends. But you'll notice that I don't go as high, especially in this next section here. See, because that's where you get a cowlick, or you want to see how the hair falls naturally before you go in and start choosing where you want those light pieces. And you'll see how much lower I go with my teasylights or the Ombre effect. I make sure to leave enough dark so that the balayage pieces that I put on top really do have a background for them to pop. And I also don't want as much blonde in the back top as I do in the front. Okay, the look is very beachy, surfer. You know, think of, she spent the whole summer at the beach. Then I go back, yeah, you'll see periodically when I see that the ends are drying out, especially now that I've been working with the 30 volume formula. I went through and covered any dry ends or places that I want to go back and just get a little bit more lift. I go back in and I touch them again with the bleach. I love the scalp cleanser. It's quick and it helps to stop the action of the bleach. Look at that color already. It almost doesn't even need toning. Now it's time for LinkD, number 2, Bond Magnifier. I apply to blonde ends and I process for 5 minutes. To help me detangle, I use a Refibra mask, and it helps me to get an extra treatment while detangling. Now comes toning, and because I'm doing a root smudge, I have two different formulas. Now starting in the back, I start my application, root formula first, and then I work my way up using the dark on the roots and smudging it into the blonder pieces. I do use a brush to smudge it in a little bit more. Here I'm showing the different formulas and how I use a little clip to differentiate. I also use different color applicators so that I don't confuse myself. And right here I'm going in after I've already applied everything else. I'm just going over little areas that I think need extra care. First of all, I applied a generous amount of DD cream all over. I do this on every single client. In fact, every one of my clients leaves my salon with a DD cream. This is absolutely necessary, especially if you have any color service done. It's going to protect from UV rays and heat styling, as well as give you some nice moisture. And here we have our finished look. Doesn't she look fabulous? Thank you for tuning in, and join in next time.